Hello, hello, everyone. Happy Thursday. Welcome to class. Nice to see you. My name is Raina, and I'm happy you're here. Tonight's class, we're going to be working through some foundational movements for sure, but maybe not super familiar if you haven't practiced in the awakening yoga style. Which was developed by Patrick Beach and Carling Harps, some of my teachers over in Seattle. And I really like this style of Vinyasa because I think it's a lot more available than a lot of traditional Vinyasa styles. It's just a bit wider stance, just a bit more focused on availability and mobility. And so it's going to be fun. I do recommend having a couple blocks or like a stool or something, because we are going to be moving up and back or up and down on the mat a little bit as we work through some sun salutation A's. And so just having those will be helpful. I also have an extra block and a blanket because we're going to be working on sitting in some kneeling positions. And so I just find having more things to stack can be helpful if you want to try sitting in kneeling positions. If you know like your body just doesn't do that, you absolutely don't have to. And sitting on your bottom in a cross-leg seat, totally fine. So I think that's really it. I'll hang around for a few after class. If anyone has any questions on anything. And we'll start in just like 3 minutes. So just opening my blinds a little bit. Grab your props, grab any last things that may be helpful. I'm hoping to sweat a little bit in tonight's class. And so if having some water nearby would be good, it's a great time to do that. And class is going to start kind of fast. So we're not going to take a ton of time down for our warm-up. We are going to warm up, but we're going to take a longer Shavasana at the end. So things are going to get going a little fast, but at the end, we'll take our time to really settle and cool down. Beautiful. Okay. So in this time, we're actually going to get started in a seat. And if a kneeling seat is available to you, that's where we're going to begin. And so taking a moment to set up your kneeling seat. And like I said, I like a few extra blocks. You can give yourself like a wide base, lay a blanket over top, and just kind of see like where you're at tonight with your body, with your kneeling seated position. And if it's not working, it's not working. And you can come into a cross leg seat, but just kind of propping your hips up a little bit, kind of imagining yourself sitting on a bit of a throne, if you will. And if you're feeling any tightness or pinching in your knees, inside, outside, really anywhere across there, I do recommend lifting your seat up, adding more height to your stack, and just seeing if that's helpful, because I definitely don't want anyone's knees uncomfortable. Okay. Cool. So coming together in our seats and allowing your eyes to close or your gaze to soften. And there's always time to adjust and readjust. We're looking for sustainability and longevity from our asana practice. That's my belief. And so if we're doing things that grind our bodies just to like the rawness of them, I really don't see that being sustainable. So connecting with your space, feeling the air on your skin, the smells of the space you're in, the sounds, all of the things coming together to create your container for this evening's practice. Taking a quiet moment of gratitude to start for this practice that we're allowed to participate in, that we borrow from, to this land we're on, to our own personal lineage, just everything that brings us to this moment right here. A moment of gratitude for the space and time in your life to take care of yourself in these ways. And a moment of gratitude for your body. I encourage you to find ways to really honor yourself tonight. So when you need breaks, take them. If you feel like you need more heat, make it. We're all bringing different things to our mat tonight, and so we're going to need slightly different practices, even though we're using the same framework. And that's okay. Becoming aware of all your little points of contact here with the earth, with your props, and with yourself. Just tapping into all these spots of support, connection. And then dropping it a little further and paying attention to your breath. And you don't need to move it around or manipulate it. Doing your best to observe. Observing the length and the reach, the texture of your breath. And with your next exhale, try to clear your body out. And find a nice long inhale through your nose. And with an HA ha sound, exhale. Another deep breath in through your nose. HA ha, exhale. Last one like that. Inhale through your nose. HA ha, exhale. Taking one last moment to maybe set an intention or an anchor for your practice. Maybe it's your breath or a word, but something that just allows you to remain balanced and in your space when things may feel physically, emotionally, or mentally out of reach. What brings you back? And slowly beginning to blink your eyes open, refocusing your gaze, taking your space back in. And with a nice big inhale, circle your arms overhead, reach nice and long through your fingertips. As you exhale, pull your elbows towards your hips, cactus your arms wide. Good, inhale, arms overhead. Exhale, cactus your arms wide. Last one, inhale, arms come up. Exhale, cactus your arms wide, holding here. Elbows move forward as your hands move back. A gentle squeeze of your spine between your shoulder blades for 3, for 2. Good. Start to reach your hands behind your back. Interlace your fingers. And if your fingers don't want to interlace tonight, you can interlace your thumbs, locking your thumbs together behind your back, or even your index fingers. So coming into the interlaced shape with your hands, gently start to wiggle your hands towards the ground. And maybe your props get in the way like mine do. That's okay. Push your knuckles into them. Lift your heart towards the sky for 3, 2, and 1. Start to move your hands towards your left hip. So lean your body right, move your hands left. Maybe they come fully onto your left hip, or maybe they hang around your left lower back a little bit more. Wherever you are is fine. Squeeze your elbows towards each other. And maybe again, your hands are locked to the thumbs or index fingers. And drop your right ear towards your right shoulder. Little gentle stretch here for 3. Play with the angle of your chin for 2. And 1, head comes to center, hands come back through center and switch sides. So coming towards your right hip, squeeze your elbows together and drop your left ear towards your left shoulder. And if your body's starting to feel really uncomfortable in this kneeling position, you can sit your hips up. You can always shift shape. We won't be here for much longer. Head comes back to center, hands come back to center. Release your fingers, give your hands a little shake, and we'll come into tabletop, hands and knees. And so pull those props out from under your tush. You can bring your blocks back towards the top of your mat. And if you'd like any cushion under your knees, go for it. And then coming into our tabletop, let's just start by extending our left leg back behind us. Left toes pressed to the ground and just rock a little forward and back, stretching the backs of your legs. We were in a kneeling shape for a while. And so just kind of finding some opposition there. And then just draw your left leg in and switch. So right leg extends out, toes pressed to the ground, a little rock back and forth. Beautiful. Right knee comes back in, adjusting so our knees are about hips distance, hands about shoulder distance, and then a little draw of your belly towards the back of your body. So not just the lower belly, that comes up, but also just under your rib cage. Draw that up a little bit too. And then imagine hugging the sides of your body in. With an inhale, find your cow pose. Pull your chest forward, tailbone moves towards the sky. And exhale rounds you into cat. Press the earth away. Good. Inhale to cow. Exhale, cat. 3 more. Inhale, cow. Exhale, cat. For 2, inhale, cow. Cat. Last one. Deep breath in, cow pose. Exhale, cat. Yeah, coming back to neutral, and we'll come into a flipped grip cat-cow. And so starting by reaching your left arm forward, draw a big circle around your body, and place your left hand back where it was, this time with fingers facing either the edge of the mat or your body. Same thing with the right arm, reach it forward, big circle. Right hand comes back to where it was, fingers face the edge of the mat or your body. Don't be afraid of a little bend in your elbows here. And with an inhale, try to pull your chest through your biceps, cow pose. Exhale, press the earth away for cat. 4 more, inhale, cow. Exhale, cat. 2, inhale, 3 more actually. Exhale, for 2. Last one. Come back to neutral. Circle your right arm back. Bring your hand back just the normal way it was. Left arm circles back. Hand comes to the normal way it was. Tuck your toes under, coming towards toes pose. Start to walk your hands towards your body. And you can keep your hands on the ground as your hips settle back towards your heels. If that's like enough for the arches of your feet, you can stay right here. If it's not quite enough, bring your hands to your thighs. Maybe use your fingers or your hands to help tuck your toes under. Maybe hands rest on your thighs. Maybe hands press together in front of your heart. And really sitting your hips back, pressing the big toes of your feet into the earth. And then imagine you're trying to pop a balloon between the heels of your feet. Breathing here for 3, 2, and 1. Hands come back to the earth, walk them forward, untuck your toes, and gently tap them out on the ground. Good. Take an inhale, find cow pose. Tuck your toes this time, exhale into downward facing dog. And we'll take 5 rounds of breath here. So really just explore your down dog. We will explore down dog a bit more in this class than I typically would in like a feel-good flow or anything like that. So we'll have plenty of time to really kind of hone in and carve out this shape. So just checking in with your body. One more round of breath here. And roll forward into a plank. Lower your knees and then slowly lower all the way down to the earth. You can lower your hips, then your belly, then your chest, or you can see how it feels to lower in kind of one straight line. Hands stay under your shoulders. With an inhale, lift your heart, baby cobra. A little draw of your belly away from the earth and the heavying of the hips towards the earth. For 3, 2, lower down for 1. Take a round of breath. Inhale, rise up, baby cobra. Stay just like this, or maybe this time you see how it feels to just float your hands off the earth with the chest staying high. For 3, 2, and 1, lower down. Take a round of breath. And with an inhale, rise up once again, baby cobra. Stay just like this, or maybe lift your hands. Stay right here, or open your arms out into a cactus shape. So elbows are bent, palms face the ground. For 3, 2, and 1, lower down. Take a round of breath. With an inhale, come up, baby cobra. Maybe float the hands. Maybe open the arms. Maybe lift your legs up. And feeling as if you're going out through the crown of your head forward and not up. So not cranking your neck up, but really finding length from the tips of your toes all the way through the top of your head. Lower down. Take a round of breath, last round here. With an inhale, rise up. Maybe float the hands, maybe open the arms, maybe lift the legs. And then from here, maybe reach your arms back like an airplane, locust pose. For 3, feeling your glutes turn on here. For 2, and lower down for 1. Take a round of breath. Press up into tabletop. With an inhale, find your cow pose. Exhale, downward facing dog. Take a few rounds of breath here, and then we'll get into our sun salutations. So drawing your blocks in, and an awakening sun salutation actually starts from downward facing dog. So feet hips distance may be a little wider. Hands firmly pressing into the earth, as if you're trying to push your body away from your hands. A drawing of your energy in towards the middle of your body, towards your solar plexus. And then bend your knees, flick your tailbone towards the crown of your head. Find length through your spine. Good. Shift your gaze up between your hands. Maybe slide your blocks under your hands for a little more space. And step your right foot outside of your right hand. And so maybe it's a couple steps to help shift your weight up. Maybe it's one big step. And then your left foot steps up outside of your left hand. So nice wide stance here. And this will be our stance for most of the class. So pausing in a forward fold. Readjusting, maybe swaying a little side to side. Our first round will be really nice and slow. Getting familiar with the shapes. Good. Start to bend your knees, sitting your booty back, and we'll find an active squat from here. And so keeping your knees bent, booty staying back, start to reach your arms out ahead of you. Shoulders feel as if they're stacking over your hips. for 3, 2. Stay in your squat, press your hands together and slide them into heart center for 3, 2. With an inhale, reach your arms straight up overhead, straighten your legs, find length, maybe just your fingertips pressed together, or maybe the whole hand presses together. See what feels good. Gentle press of the hips forward, 3, 2. Release your arms down by your side. Take a moment, readjust. We're standing. And with an inhale, reach your arms back overhead. Maybe press your fingertips or your hands together. Hold here. Hips move forward slightly. Take a breath in. And as you exhale, draw your hands down to heart center. Sit your hips back, active squat for 3. Draw the belly in for 2. Stay in your squat, extend your arms out in front of you, 3, 2, and 1. Hands come down to your blocks or the earth. Step your right foot back, left foot steps back, lower your knees and lower yourself all the way to the ground, either in kind of a wave shape or in one straight line. And with an inhale, rise up, baby cobra, or really any version of what we did before. Arms out, arms wide, legs up, legs down. Those were all options you can explore for 3, for 2, and 1. Lower down. Press up, tabletop, and then back, downward facing dog. 5 rounds of breath right here. Good. Shift your gaze up between your hands, bend your knees, and this time we'll step our left foot first, outside of our left hand. Right foot steps up outside of our right hand. Hips stay back, bend your knees, come right into that active squat shape. Rise your hands out ahead of you. Shoulders feel like they're stacked over hips for 3, 2. Stay in your active squat, hands draw in for 3, 2. With an inhale, reach your hands right overhead, straighten your legs. Exhale, arms by your side. Take a round of breath. Inhale, arms overhead. Exhale, draw your hands to heart center. Sit down into your active squat. This time, inhale, extend your arms out in front of you. Exhale, fold forward. Hands come to your blocks or the earth. Left foot steps back. Right foot steps back. Lower yourself all the way to the ground. With an inhale, find any version of baby cobra or locust pose for 3, 2, and 1. Lower down. Press up, tabletop, and back, down dog, 5 rounds of breath. That was 1 full round of an awakening sun salutation. And so we'll take another full round at a slightly faster pace. But if you're ever feeling like you need to move slower, do so. You'll see where we are. It's a lot easier to catch up a few poses back than it is to feel like you're just completely shot and out of breath and tired like halfway through class. So move at a pace that feels sustainable, like we were saying. Good. Gaze shifts up between your hands. This time, right foot steps outside the right hand. Left foot steps outside your left hand. Bend your knees, sit your hips back. Inhale, arms extend out in front of you. Press your palms together, stay in your squat. Exhale, hands to heart center. Inhale, arms overhead, straighten your legs. Exhale, arms by your side. Inhale, arms up, press your hands. Exhale, active squat, hands to heart center. Inhale, hands extend out in front of you. Exhale, hands come down. Step your right foot back, left foot back, lower down. Don't forget to breathe here, just finding a breath pattern that feels good for you. With an inhale, rise up, locust, baby cobra. Exhale, lower. Press up, tabletop, inhale. Exhale, downward facing dog, 5 rounds of breath. This is not a rest pose. It's really just a place where we can all meet. And so if you're looking to rest, you can sit down. You can find a soft puppy pose or a child's pose. You can come to standing even. But please don't mistake downward facing dog for a moment of rest here. One more breath. Shift your gaze up between your hands. This time, left foot steps. It's really nice if you bend your knees, give yourself a little buoyancy. Left foot steps, right foot steps. With an inhale, sit your hips back, arms extend out in front of you, active squat. Press your palms, exhale, hands to heart center. Inhale, arms overhead, straighten your legs. Exhale, arms by your side. Inhale, arms come up overhead. Exhale, active squat, hands to heart center. Inhale, extend your arms out in front of you. Exhale, hands come down. Step back with the left foot. Right foot steps back, lower down. With an inhale, find your cobra or locust. Exhale, lower. Inhale, press up, tabletop. Exhale, downward facing dog. 5 rounds of breath. One more full round here. So shift your gaze up, bend your knees. Big step or steps, right foot outside the right hand, left foot outside the left hand. With an inhale, active squat, arms out in front of you. Stay here, exhale, hands come to heart center. Inhale, straighten your legs, arms overhead. Exhale, arms by your side. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, active squat, hands to heart center. Inhale, extend your arms out. Exhale, hands come down. Right foot steps back, left foot steps back. Lower down for 3, 2, and 1. Inhale, baby cobra, locust. Exhale, lower. Inhale, tabletop or plank maybe. Exhale, down dog, 5 rounds of breath. Finding more space here in the spine, bending the knees, and know that if your heels never touch the ground in down dog, you're still doing it. Gaze shifts up, bend your knees, big step with the left foot, outside the hand, right foot steps up. With an inhale, active squat, hands out ahead. Active squat, exhale, hands to heart center. Inhale, arms overhead, straight legs. Exhale, arms by your side. Inhale, arms overhead. Exhale, active squat, hands to heart center. Inhale, extend your arms out. Exhale, hands come down. Left foot steps back, right foot steps back, lower down. 3, 2, 1. Inhale, locust pose or cobra. Exhale, lower. Inhale, press up, tabletop. This is it, y'all. Exhale, downward facing dog, 5 rounds of breath. Shift your gaze up between your hands and take as many steps or step up to just a forward fold. So walking, waddling your way up. Feet hips distance, grab your elbows with your hands, bend your knees, and gently sway your upper body side to side. Well, I'm sweating, and so I got what I wanted. Take about 3 more rounds of breath here. Release your hands down. With an inhale, we'll find a halfway lift. Lift the heart, look out ahead. Exhale, fold. 2 more, hands on your legs, remove your blocks. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, fold. Last one, inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Slide your hands onto your legs and start to walk them up your legs, bringing yourself very slowly to standing. Pausing maybe at your hips with your head low. And we'll take 5 rounds of breath right here in our standing shape to readjust, clothes, energy, take a drink of water. Just give everyone a moment to meet here. Good. And the next little sequence we move through is going to be fully standing. And so we won't be lowering down. We won't be really spending any time on our wrists here. So you'll still want your blocks nearby as we'll be exploring some triangle pose and some side angle in our warrior 2 shapes. So feet about hips distance apart. Start to lean your weight onto your right foot. And 2 options here. You can slowly draw your left knee up towards your chest and really flex your left foot. Or if bearing weight on one leg just isn't available tonight, you can press your foot into your block or a chair, whatever you're using to bring the ground a little bit closer. So knee is up, stork pose here. Slowly bring your arms overhead. Draw your knee a little higher if it's not on your block. If it is, keep it just where it is and kind of imagine, use your imagination to turn your quad, turn your hip flexor on and feel that kind of tension through the muscle. For 3, 2, and 1. Press your palms together or fingertips together. Slide your hands to heart center. Start to tip your chest forward as your left foot slides back. Maybe your toes drag along the earth, or maybe you extend your left leg back in the air. Toes meet the ground. Rising up, arms extend overhead, crescent lunge. Bend both your knees here. Find a little buoyancy, a little bounce. Maybe widen that stance out so that you feel as if you're standing on train tracks, not a tightrope. Take a nice big breath in. And as you exhale, pivot on your left foot so your left heel meets the ground. Extend your arms out, warrior 2. Take a moment. You might need to lengthen out your lunge or shorten your stance. You want to find what feels really available here. I like to bend my knee back and forth at first, just to make sure that my hips feel good in this shape. And then once you find your version, settle in. Find a little bit of stillness, arms extend, 5 rounds of breath. Take an inhale, lift up just a little bit. Exhale, settle in a little deeper. 2 more like that. Inhale, lift up. Exhale, settle in. Last one, inhale, lift up. Exhale, settle in. Yeah, this time as you inhale, straighten your right leg. Keep a little micro bend there, or maybe a big bend. Start to send your hips back towards your left foot. Right arm reaches forward. And then drop your right hand down onto your block. Left arm extends towards the sky, triangle pose. Maybe your fingertips press into your leg. If your block is either too low or you don't have one. Wrapping that right rib cage under your body. Really press your right hand down so you feel as if you're lifting your right earlobe away from your shoulder without moving your head. Gaze can stay neutral, or you can start to rotate it up towards your left thumb for 3, 2, and 1. Keeping your right hand down, start to bend your right knee and just feel that space. You can move a little back and forth. Right arm connecting with your right leg. And if this feels way too intense right now, pop up, right forearm comes to right thigh. Left arm stays extended just where it is, wrapping that right rib cage under your body, like you're trying to push it forward. Side angle pose for 3, 2, and 1. With a big inhale, press yourself back up to warrior 2. And then here's the fun, start to pivot around onto your left toes, coming back to your crescent lunge. I like to keep my arms out just for balance. Maybe shorten your stance. Good. With an inhale, bring your arms overhead. Press your palms together. Exhale, hands to heart center.
So sorry, but we've lost your audio.
Can you hear me now?
Yep.
Thank you. Sorry about that. Okay, where were we? So coming onto your left foot, right knee comes up towards your chest. Thank you so much for telling me, by the way. And so finding those same options as before, I'm not quite sure where I dropped out. And so we're just going to start from the beginning of this side. Either right foot is on your block, or maybe it's floating in the air. Drawing your energy in towards the midline of your body. So lower belly comes up and in, sides of your body pull in, shoulders still relax away from your ears. And with an inhale, bring your arms overhead. Stay here, exhale. Press your palms together, keep breathing. Draw your hands down to heart center. Start to tip your chest forward, and maybe your right toes drag along the earth, or maybe the foot stays floating as you reach your right leg back. Toes meet the ground, slowly coming in towards that crescent lunge, and finding both knees bent. Little bounce as you reach your arms overhead. And maybe you need to widen your stance a little bit. Breathing here for 3, for 2. Take a big breath in. As you exhale, open your arms out, pivot your right foot around so your right heel meets the earth. Warrior 2, and then take that moment. Reconfigure your stance a little bit. Bend and straighten. Find a nice comfy place for your hips to settle. And then find a little bit of stillness maybe. 5 rounds of breath here. And with a little inhale, lift your hips up. Exhale, settle them back down. 2 more like that. Inhale, little rise up. Exhale, settle down. Last one, inhale, rise up. Exhale, settle down. This inhale, straighten your left leg. Send your hips back in space as you reach your left arm forward. Left rib cage moves forward. And then drop your left hand down to your shin, your thigh, or your block. Open your chest up. Wrap your left rib cage under your body. Right arm extends overhead, triangle pose. Really pressing left hand down, lifting out and away from the shoulder. Press your left big toe firmly into the earth. And then a little external rotation. It's very subtle from the left hip. Pressing the pinky edge of your right foot into the ground. Maybe your gaze shifts up for 3. For 2. And 1. Stay like this, but start to bend your left leg. Side angle. Readjusting. If you feel like you're being too pulled apart, you can shorten your stance, or you can pop your left forearm onto your left thigh. Still wrapping your left rib cage under your body. For 3. For 2. And 1 with a big old inhale. Come on up, warrior 2. And then that little fun kind of balancing shape as we return to our crescent lunge. And so I like to shorten my stance and then kind of swiggle around. Reach your arms overhead once you arrive. Take an inhale. Exhale, draw your hands down to heart center. Start to tip your chest forward. Rock your weight onto your left foot. Maybe toes drag, maybe they lift. Squeezing your right knee towards your belly as you come back towards stork pose. Maybe placing your foot on that block. And then release your right foot to the ground. Inhale, arms overhead. Exhale, arms by your side. Take 3 rounds of breath or more. Widen your stance. Why is your mat maybe a little bit wider? Toes turn out. We're coming into Malasana, garland pose, or like a deep squat, it's also called. And so start to sit your hips down between your knees, between your calves. Maybe you need to bring the ground closer. Maybe you want a little support. Put some blocks under your tush. Maybe your heels have a really big gap between the ground. Put your mat or a blanket under there. You can also keep your hands on your blocks and stay extended that way. We'll take 5 rounds of breath here, whatever shape you're choosing. And if this just isn't available, you can sit on the ground, place the soles of your feet together, let your knees open, and take more of a butterfly pose. Good, 1 more round of breath here. Rocking your weight forward. If you had any blocks under your butt, scoop them out. And then as gracefully as you can, lower down onto your bottom. Extend your legs out. Feet wide, toes gently pulled towards your body, and start to fold forward. Finding a nice curve in your back and feeling that length through the crown of your head. So we're not craning up, we're not tucking our chin towards our chest. It's a nice straight line. Not actually straight, but it feels that way. Maybe you walk your fingertips forward a little bit more, find a little more depth today. Beautiful. And coming up, walking your hands towards your body. And from here, bend your right foot, or your right leg, excuse me, and bring your right foot right down the midline of your body. So we're not going right foot to thigh. Some space between your body and your foot, right down the center. Keep your left foot flexed and start to fold forward once again. Feeling as if you're peeling your right knee open with your glute. Finding a little space in your lower back and keeping that length in your spine for 3, 2, and 1. Coming up. Turning your chest towards your extended leg, so your left leg, and bring your hands to either frame your leg or on the inside of your leg, whatever feels more available, and start to fold forward. Doesn't need to be a big fold. And if you have more body down the middle like I do, just gently bringing your belly and your chest to the inside of your left thigh so that your left shoulder can still move towards your knee without so much of yourself kind of bumping into it. 3, 2, and 1. Start to come back up. Last little shape here, walk your left hand out towards the left, and then extend your right arm overhead, just a little side bend. 3, 2, and 1. Come back to the center, and you can use your hands to stabilize, or you can try stabilizing on your bottom as we switch sides. So bringing your right leg out, extending it. Left foot is down the center line of your body, finding a little space, and then folding forward. Chest moving towards your left foot. And feeling that opening, that kind of peeling of the knee towards the ground. Really anchoring your booty to the ground too. So we have the tendency to kind of rock forward to compensate. Can you keep your hips anchored and let your chest move forward? Your belly meet the earth or your leg. 3, 2, and 1. Coming up. And then spin your chest towards your extended leg. Hands can frame and fold forward. Doesn't need to be a big fold. For 3, 2, and 1. Coming up. Wiggle your right fingers out, away from your body, and left arm reaches overhead, little side bend here for 3, 2, and 1. Come on up to center. Bring both legs in, soles of your feet meet the ground, and then slowly lower all the way down onto your back. Take a moment to settle into the ground. You can lift your hips up, settle down, wiggle around a little bit. And then draw your knees just up, kind of towards your chest, but they don't need to go super far. So we'll come into some supine twists here. Start by dropping your legs to the left. They can stay stacked. Bottom leg can extend, really any leg shape here. Arms extend out. Trying to have our shoulders meet the ground here. And if that right shoulder just doesn't want to meet the ground, grab a blanket, maybe fold it up and fill the gap between your right shoulder and the ground. We'll take 5 rounds of breath right here. And just bring your legs slowly through the center. And then reseat yourself. So if you came off your mat a little bit, if you just need to kind of center your body on the mat and straighten things out, take a moment to do that. And then feet come off the ground. Drop your legs to the right, whichever side you didn't do. Arms extend. Really same. Fill any gaps. Find any leg shape that just feels really good right now. 5 rounds of breath here. And coming back to the center. Place your feet on the ground. Reseat, resettle. And then draw your knees towards your chest or towards your armpits. Hands come behind your thighs, maybe the outsides of your thighs, or maybe around the edges of your feet if you'd like to explore happy baby. But 5 rounds of breath here. Taking any last movements that may just fully satisfy your practice. And bringing yourself into Shavasana. And your Shavasana is any shape that allows you to find some stillness. So on your belly, on your sides, supporting your knees. Anything that allows you to find ease, some quieting of the breath, some slowing of the breath. Maybe some space between your thoughts. And some stillness in your body. So we'll take a little time right here. And I'll bring you out when the time comes. And so enjoy your Shavasana, my friends. I will see you in a few. And just starting to deepen your breath. knowing you're in your space. And you can stay here for as long as you'd like, as long as you have time for it. But if it feels good, to start bringing in a little bit of movement, just wiggling your fingers, wiggling your toes. Taking up a bit more space. Be energetically to start with your breath. Maybe making some sounds. And eventually taking up a little bit more space with your body. Reaching out, around. Just finding those kind of cat in the sun, good morning stretches. And then eventually changing your shape, maybe finding twists or coming to your side, really just any other shape than the one that you've been in. And taking a little time there. And slowly bringing yourself up to any comfortable seat, so legs extended, legs crossed, leaning on something, just anything that feels really supportive. And allowing your eyes to stay closed as you get there or once you arrive. Giving yourself one last moment to really marinate in the efforts of your practice, of your time spent. And releasing any qualification of your physicality. Doesn't matter how well that you think you did something, because you did it. And that is really where the value is, coming, doing, being in the practice and breathing. So bring your hands together and start to rub, create a little heat. And then slowly bring one hand over your belly, one hand over your chest, and slowly bring them in. And maybe you make contact, or maybe they stay hovering. And just as we opened our practice with gratitude, we close with gratitude. A big thank you for you, to you, for coming out, for coming to your mat and sharing space with each other, making space for yourself. A moment to thank your body for being wonderful. As always, I encourage you to find as many moments as you can to just be in awe of yourself. And with a small bow of my head to maybe a small bow of your head, thank you for coming tonight, for sharing your practice with me, for allowing me to guide you, for giving me grace and compassion. So thank you all so much for being here. Such a gift to be able to teach you. So have a beautiful rest of your night. If you have any questions, please let me know. But if not, I'll see you next time. So bye. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Thanks, everyone. Cool. Sorry about the audio. I hope I wasn't out for too much. Whew, enough of that. Okay, but yeah, if anyone has any questions, now's a great time to ask. Hi, Sarah. Okay, cool. Well, I'll have another class next week in the morning, and then next Saturday. We'll have a weekend class. And so I hope you all have a great weekend, and I'll see you next time. Bye, everyone.